following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
On Main Street again. Band doing an outstanding job after a stern talking to. Getting new songs coming there. So we're good to go. Welcome. 3 days away from Christmas, December 22nd, 2021. We survived yesterday, my friends. The shortest day of the year. It's always rough. Now I got to prepare for the longest day of the year come June. It's amazing how much backlash I get every time I post that about especially people on the news who get it wrong about, it's not the shortest day of the year. It's the shortest daylight of the year. Every day, as far as I'm concerned, is 24 hours. So someone will argue that, that's fine. But my clock says 24 hours every day, so it's 24 hours every day. Welcome in to another jam-packed show for you today. Look, we got good, positive, fun stuff for you coming your way today. We got this organization that's done great for the Metro Police Department and their Christmas delivery that they do every year. We'll talk to Gary Bagwell about that. Great story about a lady who's lost her father to alcoholism and addiction in home. Instead of getting mad, she decided to help some people. It's one of the most powerful stories I've read in the Main Street paper in a long time. And we'll have the writer for that will come on and join us as well. We got a magician at 7:30, our friend Jason Michaels. You guys asked for him back. He's coming back. And then Jamey Tucker from What the Tech TV with the hottest new apps on your phone for 2021. Half of my apps on my phone are from what Jamey has found and discovered and talked about. So it's really cool. Let's bring in my good friend, the intern, this morning on this chilly day. Look at him over there smiling. Got new lighting.
How's it going?
What's going on over there?
No, same light, same positive attitude, bringing it.
I love it, man. What's your hat say?
It's a golfer.
What is it? I'm sorry. Say me again. What is it?
It's a golfer.
Okay.
Do you care? Because you're drinking your coffee and you mentioned that you don't.
So what else have you been up to, man?
Not much, man. Going to the game on Thursday.
Are you really?
Mm-hmm.
Lipscomb and Belmont. What game?
Yeah. I'm going to see LSU Lafayette State.
No, what game are you going to?
The Titans game.
That a boy. I want you to say that. Say that loud.
Titans game, baby. No, I'm not. My dad's actually from San Francisco, though. So
Papa Intern is. We'll share the stories this morning, Main Street. Papa Intern, though, is from San Fran, right?
Exactly. Yep. So he's a little conflicted.
Now let me ask you this: How much tickets sit you back?
How much what?
How much of the tickets sit you back?
Not bad. So I don't usually purchase tickets.
Just answer the question.
$385, not bad.
$385
for both.
That's not bad. Okay, where are your seats?
Section 103.
What, your lower bowl?
Yeah, man. I got them on Twitter. I found a person that was offering them on Twitter, and I direct messaged him, and he liked the cut of my jib, I reckon. So he sold them to me.
Story on Friday how you got gypped out of a guy on Twitter you met for not getting your tickets to you.
Right.
All right, so here we go. Story this morning. A lot of people are upset about this in Metro Nashville. I understand Metro suspends curbside recycling amid trash contractor debacle. My trash is backing up right now. And I did not know this. Vivian Jones with the story this morning in the edition of the Main Street Nashville. The contractor, Red River Waste Services out of Texas, filed for bankruptcy this fall. Would it be easier to have the collection contractor from Tennessee? That's just me spitballing. Would it be easier that way if this company was located in Nashville? Even better, that did that. I don't understand the ins and outs of a lot of things. And that's why I'm not in government, because I'd be run out after the first day because I would question every single thing that comes through. So it's backing up there. Hopefully there's a resolution soon, because my neighborhood, all the trash bins have been out for several days now, so I have to pull that back in. and go with that. Here's something else cool. TDOT halts highway construction for Christmas holiday. Yay! It won't delay anybody, it says, from travelers during the Christmas and New Year's holidays. And again, I think TDOT does a fantastic job. I've told you that since the show started. Very underrated organization in the city, especially the help trucks. Man, they're there in a second to help people out. So they do a great job. And so that's some good news for you right there. So not a lot of huge news that's going on. Some interesting stories for the paper today that you will see that's going on, and a lot of cool things that are happening around our city. Again, you know, my favorite part, I love the history. 60 years ago in the Nashville Banner front page that we get for you every morning in the e-edition of the Main Street Nashville. This talks about a bad fire, a gas line broke in a fire, and, you know, a business on Gallatin Road. I mean, you're talking back in 1960. You go down Gallatin Road, there's a lot of history down that way, but this is front page of the Nashville Banner that goes on for that day. All right, so we got a lot to get to this morning, so we're going to skip right to our comic strip tease, because we went out yesterday. Me and Jason Goolsby went out and we had a little fun ringing the bell at Salvation Army here at the Walmart in Lebanon. So we're going to do our comic strip tease and do that, and then we'll get back to our story with Jason Goolsby. All right, intern, are you ready for this?
Oh, yeah.
So today's cartoon, look at all these cartoons. Subscribe just for that. We're doing a cartoon this morning called Barney Google. Okay, I'm not sure when it started. I really don't want to know when it started. I don't really know what it's about. It just makes me laugh because it's so dumb, and that's the part of a cartoon. All right, so playing the role this morning of the old prospector is the intern, and playing over his best friend is myself. But the intern's going to do two voices. He's going to do the old prospector and the shyster. So, intern, you ready for this?
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
All right, 3, 2, and scene.
How's your Christmas tree business going, Snuffy?
Well, it's better than expected, Lukey. Turns out old Barney Gaggle is a master at the upsell.
Okay, folks, let's 1 treat, 3 reeves, and 1 6-foot swag.
Oh, yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, man, we got it in early, too, because we told the boss, showed us instructional 7:10, so he's missing all this good stuff.
Man, I went over that all night last night.
Oh, goodness. That is so awful. It's so funny. All right, so let's get that out and go back. All right, intern, hit the play button. This is me and the Jason Goolsby yesterday, having a little fun, raising a little money for Salvation Army here at the Walmart in Lebanon.
Raising money for the Salvation Army, baby.
How long have you been doing this?
8 years.
What do you get out of it?
I get the feeling of giving back to my community, because Salvation Army helps so many programs in our community. All the money stays right here in Wilson County.
Merry Christmas. I swear to God, you're on the naughty list. You got 4 days. Turn it around. 4 days.
I'm there all year round.
Nope. Do you know what Santa Claus's real name is?
St. Nicholas.
No, his real name. Starts with a K.
Hey Siri. Santa Claus's real name. What should I say it? Hey Siri. What's Santa Claus's real name? What is it?
If Siri knows.
Siri's dumb.
It starts with a K.
Okay, Kevin.
Kevin, yeah. Kevin Claus.
Kevin.
Y'all take care now.
Thank you.
Kevin Claus.
Siri's dumb.
It's Chris Kringle.
Chris Kringle.
Yeah, thank you. You're so sweet, but thank you for putting money in there.
You're welcome.
It says a lot about you. See you guys.
So they can also learn to give back to the community.
You don't take this lightly, do you?
I don't. I do it 2 or 3 times every Christmas season.
You're a good man. Somebody would call you a good man.
Yeah, I should be.
I'm not.
There you go. Just a little fun yesterday we had at the Walmart in Lebanon. All right, let's get to the show now. Coming up next, we'll talk to Roger Fregoso, who has a great story this week of Main Street Media. Just a story I've read like 10 times. It's so impactful. It's what storytelling is all about. Roger joins us next right here. You're watching Mornings on Main Street.
And they've got an e-reader, which is just, for people like me, I have grown up with a newspaper holding it in my hand. I really like that experience. But the e-reader or the press reader that Main Street has, you get to see a front page. You get to see the business stocks. You get to see all of that. But if you see a photo and it's got a little icon on the bottom, when you see that icon, that means there's a gallery there.
I love writing and journalism just on its own, and I think I learned that during the pandemic because I was covering all kinds of non-sports related things and still having fun with it, still finding out a lot of great stories. But when you can combine something I'm already interested in, have a lot of knowledge about in sports, I feel like I'm really able to combine two of my passions at the same time, and that's really rewarding for me.
Get it, boys. Love it. 3, 2, 1, and out. All right. Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street, everybody. You know, one of the reasons before I joined Main Street Media, I loved reading the articles in the paper because they were stories. They were just not like throw it against the wall. Here's what it is. Let's get out of here. It was in-depth storytelling, which I absolutely love. And obviously, a lot of you love that as well. And that's what our next segment's going to be. Let's bring in Roger Fregoso, who wrote an amazing article about this lady in Donaldson who has every right to hate the world, Roger, and yet she doesn't. Welcome and good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me, Big Joe.
The story, we're going to put the story up here in a second about this lady. The backstory here, her father, Harvard educated, very wealthy, got addicted to alcoholism, became homeless, lost his life, and she has every right to hate the world, yet she doesn't, does she?
She doesn't. She's got a great attitude and is willing to help out instead of being miserable about it.
How did you find this story, Roger?
I saw a post on Facebook, and so you know I do a lot of perusing, and I'm always looking for story ideas. And I saw a post where this gal was collecting items for the homeless, and all she said was, "In honor of my dad." And as you know, Joe, I read that and I knew there was a story there. So I reached out to the woman and we connected and I set up an interview and I got to chat with her and just learned about her dad's story.
When you're writing this story, here's her father that's passed away and here she is. Let me get her name correct. Allie Anderson.
Correct.
And when you're listening to the story and she tells you, you know, alcoholism does not discriminate, as we well know. It goes after anybody and everybody. But when you hear this about this Harvard guy, because you don't hear that story, Roger, you hear about the homeless guy down the street. But before that, he might have had a successful career and successful life. And that's what you found here with Allie and her father. When she started telling you the story, what was going through your mind?
You know, Joe, it's not often that a story can hit you personally. You know, unfortunately, we're just used to covering stories. But I've got to tell you, as she was telling me this story, I got a lump in my throat. I just couldn't believe what I was hearing. You know, and just knowing this man's background, I know we often dehumanize the homeless community, but listening to her story just really told me that anybody could be homeless. And that's what she said. You know, I think anybody can fall into this situation.
And you're right. It says addiction just took him down. It was a really slow train crash that was traumatizing to watch. If he could end up that way, anyone could. And Roger, that's a powerful paragraph right there because that really, we talked about alcohol can take any and everyone, and that really did. And she saw it firsthand.
She sure did. You know, I got goosebumps throughout the interview just listening to her. But I've got to tell you, she's a great young lady with a great attitude. And that probably kept me from breaking down during the interview because she's just so positive and just a cheerful person.
All right. So what is her mission now that she's doing? I read it, but I'd like for you to tell people what the mission that Allie Anderson is on now.
For the homeless community?
Yes.
Well, she just wants to give them their dignity back. So her efforts are collecting toiletries for the homeless because she understands, little things like that we take for granted, be it a toothbrush, toothpaste, a razor, things like that are going to give those folks a lot. And it sounds silly to us who are blessed with everything. But that's her mission, is to collect these items for the homeless community and give it to them.
Roger, when you're talking to her, sometimes you read the article and you don't really kind of get the tone of her voice and things that are. Was there any bitterness in her? Was she mad at her father? Could you tell any of that?
There wasn't, and that's what I was really surprised. She obviously is a very understanding and sympathetic person, but she wasn't using it as a crutch in life. She just understood that happens. She knows where her dad came from, and she realized what happened. So there was no anger.
I've read it about 10 times and see what she's doing with her Facebook group and raising donations, and took this as a mission upon herself to help out the mission and the homeless, all that. When you're getting the story and she's telling you all this stuff, is sometimes, and I've done this before, you get so wrapped up in what they're telling you, you almost forget to take notes and do all that. Did you have that problem? I mean, because it was this is so passionate what she's doing.
I did, Joe, and I'll tell you, one thing that I do is I do record a lot of my interviews, only because I love people. And the reason why I do this, I believe everybody has a story, and I love listening to people's stories. And I do get wrapped in it. I really do enjoy listening and get caught up in what they're telling me. So I do record just to go back in case I need to follow up and double check some notes.
Here's another powerful paragraph that you have in your story from her. It says, his passing has affected me in a lot of different ways, but I will say that I feel closer to him now than I did when he was here, because he was so sick, he wasn't okay. It's almost, she feels sadness and not despair for her father, when she should feel the opposite.
Exactly. You just reading that again gave me goosebumps. It is a powerful statement, but it just showed me how she gets through this and what she really thinks about the whole situation.
And I love this too, Roger. I live in Donaldson, you live in Donaldson, and she says, and you're right, she gives all their credit for the success for the drive to her friends, neighbors, and the community. And she says, my neighborhood is amazing. That's what's so cool about this drive. It's a visual. When you see all the physical things that are brought and put in a box on a doorstep, it really is a visual representation of what the city does. I mean, and she gave out her address to donate stuff, and people are coming by and doing that. That's why I love Middle Tennessee. I love Donaldson. You can give out your address and people come by to help out. It's an amazing thing. It's really hard to tell people who don't live here how wonderful our community is.
Right. And actually she's a neighbor of mine. I don't live too far from her. So I look forward to meeting her in person. We did the interview via Zoom, but I look forward to meeting her soon. I'm going to go over and make a little donation to her efforts. But yeah, exactly. It's just, this is what I love about Nashville.
Roger, when people read this, what do you as a writer put this great story together? What do you hope people take out about this? Because nobody really knows Allie and knows her father, but they read about the struggle and what she's doing now. What do you hope somebody like me or the intern takes away when you read this story?
Just that we put a human face on homelessness. Joe, I think it's so easy for a lot of us, and I'll put myself included. We look at the homeless folks and it's not me, it's them. And we usually assume there's drug and alcohol addiction there. But this also shows you that there's a whole nother side to that. This man was a Harvard educated man, a wealthy man. I didn't put it in the story, but his father was an ad man who came up with the slogan, melts in your mouth, not in your hands. His grandmother was one of the original Rockettes in New York City. So, talk about a fall from grace. And I think every person we see out there who might be homeless has a story. And I just hope it puts a human face behind each one of those people.
That's beautiful. Roger, a great storyteller, takes us on a journey. And you took us on a journey with this. So great job, my man. I really appreciate the time and I appreciate the article, Roger.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate you.
All right, Roger Fregoso wrote the article. It was in Monday's edition of the Main Street Nashville. You can see it at mainstreetmediatn.com. Go back and read that. Really powerful. And, again, that's why our community is simply fantastic. Thank you, Roger. Our next story is going to push how wonderful our community is even farther down the line with a great story happening on Friday. We'll tell you more about that when we come back. You're watching Mornings on Main Street.
Dental coverage may be a small investment, but it has big benefits because dental coverage and preventive oral care leads to more than a healthier smile. It leads to a healthier life overall. Delta Dental makes it easy to get the care you need. With the nation's largest network, you're more likely to find or keep a dentist you love. And with comprehensive coverage and additional discounts, you'll have benefits you love too. Make a lasting investment in your oral and overall health with coverage from Delta Dental. Visit deltadentaltn.com to learn more.
Hey, Toby. Toby knows comfort, whether day or night. Through the highs and the lows, Toby knows. You've put it off long enough. That old system is just out with the old, in with the new. We'll make it worthwhile all the way through. Derryberry is your local independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. Visit DerryberryAC.com today and schedule a visit. Derryberry Heat and Air, making customers for life.
Yeah, the band kicking with it. Yeah. All right, guys. And out there. Again, thank you to Roger Fregoso for joining us this morning, talking about that great article. All right, let's talk about another organization in town that does some amazing work. Let's bring in Gary Bagwell with us this morning for the Music City HOGS. Gary, how are you, man?
Good morning, Joe. I'm doing great. How are you this morning?
I'm looking. I like the beard. Look at you. That's very nice.
Yeah, it's a little COVID beard, you know. Sign of the times.
It is. Okay, Gary, your organization, Music City HOGS, the Harley Owners Group. Is that correct?
That's correct. We're out of Boswell's Harley Davidson on Fessler's Lane and up in Madison at the Ring of Fire shop. And I represent the Music City Harley Owners Group and the Ring of Fire Harley Owners Group, which is the official riding club of the Harley Davidson Motor Company. So that's our primary focus, is we ride Harley Davidson motorcycles. We've got over 2,000 members in our local chapters, and we're all about riding these wonderful motorcycles. And a couple of days out of the year, we focus on the Metro Police Department Christmas Basket Program, and that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah, it is. And first of all, let's give due credit to you guys. Here's your Facebook page, and we got things up right there. Music City HOG chapter number 4938. And look at these smiling faces. You know, it's so funny, Roger. You know, for years growing up, it's like, you know, the Harley riders, watch out, get away from him. I have found that you guys and gals to be the most compassionate people on planet Earth. It's crazy.
Well, you know, most of our folks are at a time in their lives, you know, 35, 40 years old and older. Many have been blessed. I think you're blessed just to ride a Harley Davidson motorcycle. That in itself is a great blessing for me. But we all want to give back, and we do that through this one program of the Christmas Basket Program. And our members are very dedicated and very loyal to this program.
And we're going to talk about this morning, too, with the program that's happening this Friday morning with the Metro Police Department. I'm going to put the screen up here And there we go. We have it. Metro Nashville Police Department Christmas basket program, where they've done this for so many years. You guys are a huge part of this. Gary, why is this program important to you guys?
Okay, so a bit on the basket first. This is the 60th year of a program that Joe Casey started back in 1961, Chief Joe Casey. And the police officers over the years actually vet, they bring in names of families that are in need. And then going back over 20 years ago, this was our 27th year this year, actually, 26th year of the Toy Parade, which happened on November the 6th. We had 1,500 motorcycles. We raised over $35,000. We're approaching $40,000. And we are very humbly going to write the Christmas basket program a handsome check tomorrow with those funds that we raise.
Gary, just reading through this and the passion that your organization and you have for all this is something you do not take lightly, do you? I mean, every time I go to your page, I see you guys giving back in some huge way to the community, with this prime example being Friday with the Metro Nashville Police Department Christmas basket program.
Joe, I've only gotten up at 3 o'clock in the morning either to go ride a motorcycle, to fly to Hawaii, or serve as a volunteer with the Christmas basket program. Yeah, we'll have, so out at 5500 Charlotte Avenue, starting a little after 3:30, we call it 4 o'clock on Friday morning. We ask our volunteers to come out, and we typically, between the Toy Parade, which is a fantastic event, and then the volunteer labor, I would call it, that we provide for the Christmas basket, the actual implementation of the program on Christmas Eve morning, we'll have, you see all those baskets in that photo. One of the things that our volunteers do, and the reason they get there at 4, is to help fill these baskets. You'll see turkeys, hams. There are perishable baskets, and then there are dry goods baskets. So what our group does for MNPD for the Christmas basket program is our group shows up in force, and they take all of this product, move it into these bushel baskets, and then the families get 4 bushel baskets apiece.
Wow.
So after we fill the baskets, the next step is getting them out on the loading dock and into the cruisers, into the police officers' personal cars, and then they take them out to deliver them all around Davidson County.
That is amazing. Gary, if somebody wants to say they got a Christmas bonus, $1,000, they want to give it to you guys, how would they do that?
Joe, listen, we're always in need, and you know right now the state of our world, families in there are in greater need than ever. It's really simple. This has become a year-round program for us. If somebody wants to give a check, cash, or toys, all they have to do is show up to Boswell's Harley Davidson on Fessler's Lane, go to the motor clothes counter, and tell them what you're there to do, and they'll happily collect that, and then we store it away, and then we hand it over to the Christmas basket program. They can also go to the Ring of Fire store and see Christy up there at the motor clothes counter and do the same thing, check, cash, or toys. And I think it's worthwhile to say these numbers have increased a little bit every year, Joe. The program this year is going to serve 200 families.
Wow. With
both food and toys, 130 elderly shut-ins. So if you can imagine some elderly folks that, especially right now, are not getting out, they're staying in, they're going to have a Christmas. They're going to have, groceries on the table. 50 emergency situations, and that has been up considerably over the years. So we're excited once again to be involved with the program.
Beautiful. Gary, I know you're busy. Thank you for your time. We'll continue promoting your cause and what you guys do. You're a good man. Thank you, my friend, for being on the show this morning.
Joe, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you.
Yeah, thank you. Gary Bagwell there from the Music City Hogs. He says, go by Boswell Harley Davidson on Festlers Avenue if you want to donate toys like you just talked about. Do that. Again, what a wonderful place we live in. All right, coming up next, one of our favorite guests on the show, the magician, Jason Michaels, will join us. He's got a pretty cool trick for us. I have no idea what he's going to do, but it's always fascinating. He joins us next. You're watching Mornings on Main Street.
Makes as much sense as driving drunk. Dig it, guys. Great job today. Morning on, that's the Moms Band, Mornings on Main Street. All right, so we've had this guy on several times. You've asked for him back. Let's bring him back again. Jason Michaels, our good friend, the magician. How are you, pal?
Somebody asked for me back.
In fact, just last week, two people said, when are you going to come back on the show? Where can they find you? And we're going to go to your show on the 18th.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm very well. Thank you for asking. I'm excited. You just did a show over the weekend. Obviously, it's the holidays and people are doing holiday events and all that has been super fun. But I'm looking forward to a show that I've got coming up. I was talking to a whole bunch of friends of mine who perform all different people in different parts of the country, and everybody told me, they said the week between Christmas and New Year's, there's a lot of people looking for stuff to do. So I scheduled a show, go believe this, on a Thursday night. So this is like it's an experiment to see if it's true, see if people are really looking for stuff to do.
Well, you know what's funny? I just had that screen pulled up and I'm going to show it right now to show that I was not kidding. Thursday, December 30th. At the filming station here in Nashville, a rare Thursday night show. There you go.
Yep. You know, I tell you, I loved that. Obviously I'm watching, and as we wait to chat here a couple minutes ago, I love that Go Army commercial. That's so cool because I think you probably know this, but I've done a whole lot of events for the military. I've traveled all over the place, and the reason that I do that is because this is what I'm always told. Anytime I go overseas or anything like that, they always say, you know, to be reminded that there are folks at home who really do care and are and want to support us means so much. And so I always love to share magic, not just here locally, but I love to share magic with folks because I think that magic and amazement and fun, and I think it's this beautiful moment in time when people can kind of get lost and forget about the worries of the day and just enjoy this moment, this pure moment of amazement. I just love it.
I think it's great. You actually, some of the first times I met you, you were coming back or heading over on a USO tour, right? Were you going to Iraq?
Yeah, so in 2000, well, this is years ago. So we went the very first time I went to Iraq, and we got to go to a couple of countries in Africa, Djibouti, Ethiopia. Went to Iraq, went to Kuwait. Got to fly in a Black Hawk helicopter to a couple of bases over Baghdad. So like we at the time we could only fly over under cover of darkness, and so we would do a show like in the afternoon somewhere, and then we would wait till it got dark, we would get on a helicopter and go to the next base, and we would do a show, and then we would get on the helicopter, and at this point it's like 1:00 in the morning, we'd fly to the next base. So it was pretty wild. It was one of the most interesting and most fun experiences of my life.
As you've seen firsthand, our soldiers are amazing people. So thank you for going to do that. All right, Jason. So let's have it. You're going to show us a magic trick that's going to blow our mind like you did last time.
Okay.
I'm excited for this.
You've got it. So let me ask you this question. Have you ever, because I do this sometimes, have you ever done any meditation or visualization before? Have you ever just, when they say just sit down, be quiet, and clear your mind? Have you ever done that before?
Yeah, when I'm sitting in traffic and want to ram the car in front of me.
A little visualization. Yeah. Right. So this is an exercise in imagination. Here's what I've got. I've got 4 playing cards here. That's a fact. I'm going to tell you the truth. There are 4 right here. Okay. So here's what I want you to imagine, Joe. I want you to imagine that the 4 playing cards that I'm holding are the 4 queens. So just pretend in your mind that these are the 4 queens. That means I am holding, at least you can see it in your mind, I am holding the queens of clubs, hearts, spades, and diamonds. Okay. So you've got that in your mind.
Yes.
Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reach in. Again, using our imagination only, I'm going to pluck 2 of those queens out so that they're staring at you right in your face. You tell me, can you see in your mind the red queens or can you see the black queens? Your choice.
Yeah, sure.
Which ones?
The red.
So you're looking at the red queens, the queen of hearts and the queen of diamonds. Okay, so one of these cards is going to go back in the pack, still facing you. The other I'm going to toss over my shoulder. Which one do you want to go back in the pack, the queen of hearts or the queen of diamonds?
Queen of diamonds.
So the queen of diamonds goes back in the pack. I toss the queen of hearts over my shoulder. Now, here's what's amazing about this. I told you that it was a game of imagination. I told you there are 4 playing cards here. There are 4 playing cards here. What's fascinating about these 4 playing cards, that out of these 4 playing cards, one of the cards is
come on.
It is the queen of diamonds. Now, check this out, Joe. Here's what I think is so fascinating about this. Not only is the queen of diamonds turned facing the other direction, in case you're wondering what would have happened had you made a completely different decision. I just wanted to sort of cement my case, and that is why the queen of diamonds is the only red-backed card in the entire pack. Now, there are still some skeptics in the audience that say, I don't believe in this type of stuff. And I understand that because I'm kind of like an analytical type of person too. And that's why the other 3 cards, the other 3 queens that I told you to imagine, these cards aren't queens. These cards are blank. They have no printing on them whatsoever. 3 blank cards, just 1 queen. And there you go, buddy.
Okay. All right. So I had literally my face into the screen but I was watching around you and everything. And then the intern over here is about to lose his mind. I'm at a loss for words. That never happens, Jason. Mind blown.
So here's the thing about magic. There's so many different types of magic. There's like the last time I was on, we did like a miniature illusion. So like there's illusions, like people have heard of David Copperfield and Chris Angel and that type of stuff. So the illusion typically is like when something like appears or disappears. And then there's stuff like mentalism, where people get inside your head. And then there's sleight of hand, which is technically how I started years ago. Magic is this wonderful thing that is like, it's this very vast subject. So like there are so many different types of magic and types of things that you can learn in magic. You could study magic for 30 years and never get bored.
I'm still trying to process how you had the queen of. I'm sorry. I'm lost.
I tell you what, I'm going to hold on to that one in my back pocket, and that way maybe I can get you to bring me back again soon.
Well, I've got to try to get the intern back mentally, because right now he's lost somewhere in Magic Land because of you. Jason, that fantastic. Again, the show on the 30th at the filming station. How can people find out more about you?
So the show is called Mysteries and Illusions, and that is the website, mysteriesandillusions.com. And there are video clips and all sorts of different stuff there. Show dates and times. You can purchase tickets all from that website, mysteriesandillusions.com.
Beautiful. Matt, you're the man. Jason, thank you. And we'll have you on again soon.
Absolutely. I look forward to it.
All right. Jason Michaels with all that. Hey, intern, pop up real quick here, wherever you are. You had a loud growl or whatever that was when he did that.
I couldn't believe it. The way, like whenever the cards were blank.
Right.
How?
This was. I looked over and we're both like this.
Yeah.
To the screen, like, all right, we got this. He's not gonna fool us out. And then he pulled that one out, and you're like, whoa!
Right. No, the imagination thing.
That's fantastic. Oh my Lord! All right, Jason Michaels, look him up. You can see him for what he's doing, all that stuff. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back with Jamey Tucker from WhatTheTech.tv on the best apps that came out in 2021. This is another fantastic segment. Jason and Jamey, all for you right here. You're watching Mornings on Main Street. Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street, where we have no brain left after Jason Michaels just blew it for me and the intern. So we're moving on. Let's bring in now Jamey Tucker from WhatTheTech.tv, one of my dear friends. Jamey, a lot of great feedback last week on your segment. A lot of people are now discovering on this great show that we had you on and everything. And how long have you been doing What the Tech?
I started What the Tech 11 years ago. As it was a side hustle at Channel 2. Yeah, 11 years ago.
Has it been that long? My goodness.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I left WKRN 6.5 years ago, Joe. Time just has flown by. And hey, and what's the big deal bringing me on after a wizard? That was unreal. I believe there's sleight of hand. Yeah, people who do sleight of hand, I get that. But this guy is a wizard. That was unreal.
It was amazing. Also, by the way, for those that know, I worked with Jamey for many years at Channel 2, and we're praying that nobody writes a book about our adventures and times there. So, after we're gone, they could write it then, but not now. Again, I'm so glad and so honored you're on our show today. All right, WhatTheTech.tv. You do all things throughout the air, but now you're focusing, and I've told you before, some of the apps on my phone I get because I've watched your segment I had no idea were out there. There's so many apps out there. How do you condense them to ones that we really need to have and ones that we really do not need to have?
Well, I tried to, kind of put myself, I'm a viewer too, I'm a consumer of these tech things. So I'm always looking for apps that will make my life a little bit easier or have a little more fun or keep me safe. And so we had some great apps that came out either in 2020 because of the pandemic, brought a lot of new apps along that are helpful to us for people who were working from home. But then in the past year, maybe not apps that have come out, but apps that I discovered in 2021 that are just fantastic.
Here, I'll put your website up right now, whatthetech.tv. What's one that stands out? When you think of an app for the last year and a half that pops to your mind, what's the one that comes out?
My favorite app of the year, at least the one that I discovered, is called Radio Garden. Have you ever heard of that one?
Yes,
Radio Garden.
You posted that. That's radio stations around the world.
Yeah, it is. I get a little tired. I can go to Spotify, I can go to Amazon Music, I can go to, Apple Music, but I always see the same, albums and artists because of the algorithm. But Radio Garden is very cool. And I'm going to hold my phone up here in just a second after the Google ad loads. But Radio Garden is very cool in that, you can see that.
Whoa.
All of those green dots are radio stations around the world. And so you can just, move the globe around. And once you click on one of these green dots, let's see. So that radio station, this is in Dartford, United Kingdom. And I found some, it really is. And these are internet radio stations that this group have put together. This was just a project. But you can, I listen to this funk radio station out of Lyon, France, just about every day. And you just kind of move that around. And there's one in Villa de Popo, which is in Madeira. And that is, that's a Christmas radio program.
That is outstanding. You know what I've discovered, covering the Nashville Predators, a lot of those European guys love heavy metal. So stations.
80s rock and roll is popular all over the world, so it's kind of cool, and there's one in the Netherlands that I listen to. Just you hear their traffic reports. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Like backed up on 840. Now, is that a free app?
That is a free app. And they don't share a lot of your information. Of course, if you're on Apple, you can choose not to share anything. But it's just a fun app. There's an Austin blues radio station that I listen to all the time. And it's just in Lyon, France, for some reason, they have jazz, funk, 80s rock and roll, disco. They have everything coming out of this town, Lyon, France. And so you get to hear the DJs, speaking French.
That is fantastic. All right, so we wrote Radio Garden down. What's next?
All right, this is another music app. If you've ever visited, downtown and Lower Broadway, you hear a lot of country music. But if you go to some other places, like I was in Austin, Texas, and you could walk just down the street and you might hear blues, you might hear country, then you might hear alternative. Well, this is an app called Bandcamp. Joe, and I know you spend a lot of time in Bandcamp like I do.
I love Bandcamp.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And so Bandcamp is one of these apps where a lot of the smaller artists, they earn a fraction of a penny from Spotify when you play their music. But on Bandcamp, you can go in and discover music. So I like to say, I kind of compare it to walking down the street where there's a lot of music and you just tap on one and you're going to hear a different band that you've never heard of. And maybe more importantly, for some of those bands, you can support the bands by purchasing their vinyl, their MP3s. And I bought some vinyl from a band off of here. So Bandcamp is a lot of fun if you like music.
Does that work in downtown Nashville too?
Well, yeah, there are a lot of apps or a lot of bands in Nashville that will put their music on Bandcamp. And so if you go to Bandcamp, for instance, there's a great band out of Seattle that I discovered on a TV show called Fort Atlantic. And I could not get the music on Amazon Prime. So I went to Bandcamp, found that artist, ordered 2 vinyl records because I collect them. Ordered 2 vinyl records. Get this, I emailed the band because I ordered one. And then after I placed my order, I noticed that they had a bargain. You could get both albums for a lower price. So I emailed them to cancel that first order and change it to the second. And the guy that responded to my email, lead singer of the band. So it was pretty cool. Yeah, so we're friends now.
Oh, that's fantastic. All right, so Radio Garden and Bandcamp. What else?
All right, there's another one that I found out about at CES about 3 years ago. It's called What 3 Words? Have you heard of this one, Joe?
I have not.
Okay, What 3 Words? So this group of entrepreneurs, these tech people, went out and they plotted the entire world in a series of 3 by 3 meter squares. So you're sitting right now in your studio, and it is documented or recorded with 3 words. It is marked right exactly where you're sitting. Now, the intern, who's a few feet away, has another 3 words that is his exact location. Now, the great thing is, and this has been known to actually save people's life. You know, you get lost somewhere and in the middle of nowhere, and you can navigate, or you can, open this app and it will show you your 3 words: ridge, pigs, left. Now that's not my location. All right. That is that's a place in the food court, I think, at Opry Lane. All right. So we're going to move over just a few feet away, and it's First Tame Oldest. Over here, Merit Unity Pill. All of these, and if I zoom in, this is indoors now. All right. So if I zoom in, and let's say I go about 20 feet over, it's Merit Unity Pill, and then Family Wacky Frogs. I want that address. Family Wacky Frogs. And so this is good. Yeah, this is really good if, and I've used it at ball games, and I even used it at our church Christmas program the other day when my son was coming in late, and he was like, "Where are you sitting?" Boom. All right, I'm at these 3 words. Now, you don't have to have that app. So if I shared my location with you, let's say I'm in the wilderness, I'm on a hike by myself, and I can't send you my location because I don't know where the heck I am. I can send you those 3 words. It's going to come up in a text or a tweet, and you will be able to tap that. It will take you to Google Maps, and you will know exactly how to get there. And it will say, so Uber is using this. Some 911 services around the world are using this, and it has been known to find hikers who have become lost with no way. And the great thing is, in a situation like that, it uses very, very little bandwidth. So if your phone is about dead, or if you only have 1 bar and you're out in the middle of nowhere, you can use that and probably get through when a phone call would not get through.
How do I know what 3 words to use? Like if I'm sitting here in Lebanon, how do I know what 3 words to put in?
Well, if you have the app, you can simply open that app and it will show you exactly where you are. And so these 3 words are going to be different than these 3 words.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah. And the way it's not perfect, but in most cases, the 3 words are not similar in the same geographic area. You follow? The 3 words, not going to be, add an S. They've tried their best to make it where similar 3 words might be, half a world away. And that's a free app, as well.
I am going, and I'm not kidding you, my kids will be downloading this app within the hour. And that's not a joke. That is amazing for the simple part of security of that. That's amazing, Jamey.
Yeah, I love that app, and I've used it several times. And it's perfect for if you're, your kids, if they, get a flat tire on the side of the road.
Right.
You can send a police officer to that exact square.
That is
3 by 3 meter square.
Unbelievable. Okay. So we got Radio Garden, Bandcamp, and what 3 words, the hot apps for 2021 and for the last year and a half or so. Jamey, again, thank you. I find what you do, again, fascinating, and I'm going to help spread the word, let people know what you're doing. WhatTheTech.tv. And how many TV stations are you on now?
We're on 16 television stations from Hawaii to Maryland. So
Nice.
all across the country. Yeah. And I've got a YouTube channel. And if you go to that website and you look at the top of that website, you will see another place for apps. You'll be able to go and see videos and stories about different apps that you might be able to use.
Real quick, are you mad at Bo Nix?
Oh boy, that's a great question, Joe. You know, I was very disappointed early on, but then I started thinking about it. I don't believe, I don't want to get too far into sports because this is not necessarily a sports show,
right.
But I think it was just a good idea for him. I don't believe he and Coach Harsin at Auburn were really saw eye to eye during the season. And he graduated, he's getting married. He's an Auburn guy, though. He's a legacy. He and the Nix family, they're legacies. And this really tarnishes his legacy. I don't know that he'll ever come back to Auburn and have a big rousing applause from the crowd. That's gone. And so I hate it for him. Maybe it works out. Maybe he's the starter. I don't know, but yeah, that's what a roller coaster for us Auburn fans over the last week and a half.
You're the first guy I thought about when I saw that he was transferring because you love Auburn so much.
Yes, I do. And but anyway, it's hopefully we'll get things worked out. We had a good recruiting season. This is not a sports show, right? But
who cares, man? All right, Merry Christmas, brother. Thank you, man.
Merry Christmas, Joe. Merry Christmas to everybody.
All right, Jamey Tucker from WhatTheTech.tv. Again, Jason Mockers blew our mind. This What 3 Words app has blown our mind. I'm not sure the intern's ever going to recover. All right, we'll come back. We'll wrap it up. Celebrity Birthdays is next. You're watching Mornings on Main Street.
Talking Trash, the show that's going to end littering. Brought to you by Nobody Trashes Tennessee. How was that? That fast part, the end felt rushed. I'm going to do it one more time, Claire. Talking Trash, the show that's going to end littering. Brought to you by Nobody Trashes Tennessee. Ooh, how was that? Claire, that sound about right? It felt good to me. She feels me. Nobody trashes Tennessee on my watch.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
It was just a few cocktails at happy hour.
You really good try.
There aren't any cops around.
I didn't think there were any cops around.
I drink and drive all the time.
Sir, you've been in a serious crash. I want you to hang on, okay? Cover your hands, sir. You are right now. Now.
Shout out to the Moms Band over there. They do a great job every day after our stern talking to them. All right, intern, are you ready for the celebrity birthdays?
Born ready.
Okay. I got to quit. I go back and watch the show. I got to quit saying so much. And I'm so sorry because I hate people who say And so I got to stop doing that because I've become one of them.
Right.
Let's do celebrity birthdays. First up is he was in Pretty Woman, Hector Elizondo. He's the one that took Julia Roberts under his wing in Pretty Woman. How old is Hector today?
58.
80. Oh, he's 85. So if you got that backwards, you'd have gotten credit for that. But
all right. So half credit.
No, you didn't. Actor Rafe Fiennes, whatever. He was been in a ton of movies. He played the bad guy in One of the Hannibal movies. I forget which one.
He wasn't the one that was saying Clarice, was he?
No, that was Anthony Hopkins.
Okay, I just wanted to say that. Let's do 71.
59. She won American Idol. Jordan Sparks.
No air. 33.
32.
Hey.
Well done. She's all about that bass. Megan Trainor.
Sounds like you're introducing her to a show.
For a while, she lived in Green Hills. I don't know if she
Oh,
does
did she really?
anymore.
Nice. 31.
28. Oh, you're with. Country singer and actor Red Steagall.
What's he?
Now, think about this.
Okay.
How many guys you know named Red?
Not one.
So you're thinking a little older.
Okay.
Deductive reasoning.
Yep. 76.
83. TV anchor woman Diane Sawyer.
72.
76. Guitarist from Cheap Trick Rick Nielsen. Your mama's all right. Your daddy's all right. They just seem a little weird. Surrender.
61.
73. Rapper Luther Campbell from the 2 Live Crew.
54.
61.
Doing
Guitarist
bad.
Chuck Need lives in Nashville from BR 549.
64.
61. You've missed 3 by a year. And finally, let's get one out of the way. Actor Greg Finley. He's TV's The Flash.
Okay. 28.
37.
Just bad again, you know.
No, I didn't got that either. Intern, thanks for all your hard work. Tell the band thanks too as well.
I will.
Behind the
See
other
y'all.
room over there. All right, again, thanks to all our guests this morning on the show. The intern will upload these shows to our YouTube channel. Just go to Mornings on Main Street and see everything there. Thank you, Roger Fregoso. Thank you, Gary Bagwell. Thank you, Jason Michaels. Thank you, Jamey Tucker. Such a fun show because of you guys. Really appreciate it. And we leave you with this as always. Be nice to people. Smile. Let people in traffic. Open doors. Remember, literally nobody cares about your CrossFit workout unless you're doing it for charity. As always, nobody ever went broke by giving. We'll see you guys tomorrow.